Hello, prisoner 8675. I thank you for coming to this meeting on such short notice. Did you have a productive day in the mines? What do they have you digging up anyways? Slag? Scrap? Bones? Regardless, I appreciate your attendance. I would like to ask you about the task of which your employer assigned to you. You wanted to know more about my order and its ranks, right? Do you still want to know? I can tell you, but I think my friends will have to be present for this. They can't help but eavesdrop. So please, all you need to do is sit there while I teach you all you need to know about the organization, which you couldn't help but be too curious to learn about. The Holy Orders of the Emperor's Inquisition, but I'm sure you just call it the Inquisition, are the secret members within the Imperium that act to keep the most pressing threats to humanity at bay before they are ever known. I'm sure you've heard about the Krelok invasion of Nightneil 5, yes? No? Well, we must have done an exceptional job on that one. By the way, you should be thankful that my master had you sentenced to only hard labor. If you weren't a radical, you would have been put into the dirt by a Puritan Inquisitor. What's that? Oh no, I'm not an Inquisitor, but I hope to be one someday. I'm relatively far up in the ranks since you're asking. You know, after the Great Heresy, my organization was founded by one of the Emperor's closest allies. He had the foresight to build up a force that would have to act outside of the norms and regulations so that the Imperium could survive day after day. Speaking of norms and regulations, those are partially why I was sent to pick you up today. My master wants to know more about you personally. He wants to see if you are suitable to join his retinue. Well, let's see if he finds you worthy. Oh, I suppose I'll have to drag you out of here first. Apologies, mate.
Trusted Acolyte Doomcoff reporting.
Acolyte. The general term given to everyone who serves in an Inquisitor's retinue or warband. But the lowest aides and servants are mainly called this. There are as many circumstances that can lead one getting roped into becoming an Acolyte of the Inquisition as there are stars in the galaxy, and they are all mostly involuntary. Prisoners that prove useful, Schola graduates that are exceptional, a romantic date that was set up by your agent and they have to drag them along or else execute them. Random recruitment like the above examples can lead to an Inquisitor having a retinue of many specialized talents that will be thoroughly vetted. Mainly showing proof of an Inquisitor's authority is enough to intimidate anyone into servitude. If that doesn't work, an Inquisitorial Interrogator is always available. Acolytes carry little to none of the authority that their masters display. It doesn't stop them from being viewed as under an Inquisitor's eye and protection, though. As an Acolyte's career in the retinue advances, they may be seen as having displayed growing amounts of loyalty to the Inquisitorial cause. Such virtue will be recognized by those above them, and they may be given more respectable responsibilities. They can be given designations of proven and then trusted, which will grant them further access into the secrets of the Inquisition. But not too many secrets. Ignorance is strength after all.
Stop! You violated the law!
Throne Agent. The rank afforded to the most trusted of trusted acolytes. To be a Throne Agent implies that the individual is now fully a part of the Inquisition itself. Throne Agents are given more responsibilities by their masters and are even allowed to go off on solo missions. To help with these missions, they are given their own lesser Inquisitorial rosette that they can flash around to convey that they are acting on the authority of an Inquisitor. A Throne Agent's tasks can range from rooting out conspiracies to spying on possible targets of intrigue. Their orders are usually given to them by their masters in the form of cryptic communications or ciphers. Much knowledge that is held by the Inquisition is shared with them, but that is relative compared to what an Inquisitor knows. Given their first taste of authority, throne agents will work as the fingers of their masters as they try to root out corruption before it can spread.
Squad A, you go into the Nurgle-infested prison. Squad B, you try to kill that loose chaos spawn. Squad C, get me some of that fancy recaf from the Hive City Spire.
Prime, the lead acolyte of a warband or retinue. They are tasked with giving out missions in theaters of conflict, and they make sure that the warband is under tight control. They must have an extensive knowledge on the methods of which recruits were conscripted, so as to make sure there aren't any liabilities that will work against their master's goal.
If you have nothing to hide, well, it won't matter in the end.
Legate Investigator. Sometimes an Inquisitor's case might be too much for them to complete by themselves. This is the moment they assign one of their most trusted acolytes with the job of Legate Investigator. These loyal individuals will be charged with taking over the Inquisitor's case and be given full authority over it. Legate Investigators are sometimes known as cult breakers, hounds, and brothers of question. Most of the acolytes assigned this rank have backgrounds with the Adeptus Arbites, where they use their knowledge of imperial law to better complete their investigations. To aid them with this job, the Legate Investigator is given two symbols of inquisitorial authority. The first is the Carta of Inquiry, which is a written document that shows the extent of their investigative powers and the scope of their investigation. The second is the Sigil of Question, which is a badge that contains the security codes that verify their status and their ability to access any information that they seek in regards to the mission. Once the mission is complete, the Legate Investigator must return their symbols of authority to their master. Depending on the outcome of the mission, the investigator may be generously rewarded or severely punished.
Oh, it's the third thoracic vertebrae that controls the lungs. I was wondering why everything else below stopped working.
Explicator. The rank given to those who have the potential to be Inquisitors in training. Acolytes that are particularly favored by an Inquisitor will rise up to this rank to begin their training on how to properly extract information and testimony from a subject of an investigation. They will be mentored by their Inquisitor master in torture techniques, both physical and mental. Training can be grueling not just to their victims, but to the Explicator themselves, as they will be asked to throw away much of their humanity to complete their tasks. Many who complete their training are noted to be changed in both mind and soul.
In the name of His Holy Inquisition, I demand that you hand over that Halo device.
Interrogator. Essentially, the established apprentices of an Inquisitor. They serve as the closest confidants to their master and seek to garner their favor for further advancement. Interrogators are masters in extracting information from their targets. Some serve independently from their masters, while others form connections with other acolytes to make their own cohesive and miniature retinues. They carry their own version of the Inquisitorial rosette that conveys authority second only to that of their masters. When an interrogator is believed to have proven themselves enough, they will be granted the rank of High Interrogator. This basically means that they are guaranteed to advance onwards to the actual rank of Inquisitor. Many who never reach the rank of High Interrogator will instead continue on with their current job for the glory of the Holy Inquisition. Some might use their failure of promotion as a reason to be even more effective in their tasks. If you ever find yourself in the extraction room of an interrogator, it would be more pragmatic to just spill your guts before they take that figure of speech literally.
You either die a Puritan or live long enough to become a radical.
Inquisitor. The rank that fully inducts one into the Inquisition. An uncommon title that is used to distinguish this rank from others of higher standing within the agency is Inquisitor Ordinary. Near limitless authority and knowledge are granted to these individuals as they wield true inquisitorial rosettes and are exposed to the true horrors of the galaxy while completing cases. Asserting themselves will allow them to requisition almost anything they need to complete their jobs. Acting on conspiracies and formulating cases will be the crux of their job, as they make it their business to examine anything they find to be against the Emperor's divine words. With so many threats to the Imperium in the galaxy, the Inquisition has subfactions known as Ordos that are groups of like-minded individuals that collaborate and share information on how best to combat the enemies of mankind. Some Ordos are involved in combating cults or Xenos invasions, while others work to make sure that damning information is never leaked to the wider Imperial populace. Joining an Ordo is not mandatory, and Inquisitors have been known to jump around several of them at a time. Some can decide to never join one for whatever reason. With the rank of Inquisitor, it can be said that the further rungs of the upper hierarchy of the Inquisition are just a pragmatic way of organizing multiple bodies. Further power cannot be gained in a relative sense, as an Inquisitor Ordinary already has what they were working to achieve. The most you can achieve going forward is having more people under your command and a fancier title.
Damn, I need to find and arrest this so-called Balthazar Gelt for stealing my drip.
Inquisitor Lord. Influence and reputation are what enables an Inquisitor Ordinary to gain the title of Inquisitor Lord. These rare servants of the Emperor work to monitor the activities of other Inquisitors and are embodiments of Inquisitorial prestige and status. Seniority alone isn't a mark of influence among Inquisitors. Elevation to this rank is strictly invite only, as a current Inquisitor Lord must first recommend a candidate and then get approval from 2 other lords. Once the candidate is approved, they become a lord and are now a Watcher of the Watchers. Created for the sake of practicality, Inquisitor Lords try to establish a modicum of camaraderie in an organization that benefits heavily from paranoia.
Damn it, Critman!
Master. When a particular Ordo's presence is high in a sector or subsector of the galaxy, a senior Inquisitorial Lord may be appointed to this rank to lead ongoing investigations that have to do with growing problems within that sector. Massive Xenos invasions or a Black Crusade could be seen as reasons for choosing a master to handle these dire situations. They will provide advice to their Grandmaster and eventually take their place should death come to them.
Those tiny dots are getting pretty big.
Grandmaster. The title given to a master who leads an inquisitorial conclave in a sector or subsector of the galaxy. Conclaves are the rough organization of inquisitors and other inquisitorial authorities in a particular section of the galaxy. Grandmasters are seen as the absolute representation of the Inquisition's power within whatever part of the Milky Way galaxy they look after.
Ah, yes, another scroll to add to my collection.
Inquisitorial Representative. The role given to an Inquisitor Lord that makes them a relatively short-term member of the High Lords of Terra. Inquisitorial representatives do exactly what their title says and mainly show up to the Senatorium Imperialis meetings to just be the ears, eyes, and mouth of the Inquisition. Given the duty of the Inquisition, they will be the first ones to know of ongoing or upcoming threats to the Imperium and relay these facts to their colleagues on the Senatorum. The job is, surprisingly, very flexible, as there have been multiple representatives that held the title simultaneously. The title of representative is also subject to term limits, with a person's tenure only being a short 5 years. With how active and demanding the organization is, inquisitorial representatives usually vote on issues put forth by the Senatorum Imperialis through missives and other proxies. Even though the Inquisition may seem to treat the job with little regard, they are actually treated with a massive amount of respect by the other High Lords. After all, the other leaders of the Imperium do not want to cross the ever-watching and dread-inducing organization that is known to have spies everywhere. They do not want to look like they aren't doing their jobs properly in front of the inquisitorial representative. Even though the job is viewed as necessary busy work by the Inquisitors, it is still acknowledged and dutifully carried out. This was my lore video on the ranks of the Inquisition. Turns out once you become an Inquisitor, the ranks above feel like mere formalities. If you want to know more about what the Inquisition does, I could make a video on the different major and minor ordos that are mentioned within 40k. But for now, I'd like to announce that the next video will be on the hierarchy of the Adeptus Mechanicus. Look forward to learning more about everyone's favorite Men of Iron. Make sure to bless your screens and that subscribe button so that video can be made faster.